Why is it illegal?
Ah. Well, you hint at one of them, the pharmaceutical industry. You know, it's also the alcohol industry has a big. But the major thing is, you say, well, for example, the federal government is putting up with not only 18 states that have made it, and the District of Columbia have made it legal, in quotes, to use marijuana as a medicine. There are so many restrictions, but nevertheless. And now Colorado and Washington, with its 102, it's legal. What is the federal government doing? It's going on as though nothing has happened. And, you know, this guy Obama, he's a smart man, and he knows the jig is up. Why doesn't it change? Well, the federal government is like a huge tanker. You're the captain of that tanker. Let's say Mr. Obama's the captain of an oil tanker, and he sees that iceberg right ahead, and he calls full rudder port to port. Let's turn this. We got to get out of. Well, the tanker, with all that momentum, and it just inches to port, little by little. You can't believe it's moving so slowly away from this. Well, we've got a huge tanker here. There's a huge amount of federal money tied up in this. Think of all the jobs, all the DE agents, all the all the extra prison space we've built, all the assistant sheriffs, all the assistant district, all the people involved in this. This would be we are arresting over 850,000 people on marijuana charges as recently as 2011. That's the last year. It was a little more in 2010, but that's come up from 300,000, which was where it was when I wrote the book Marijuana Reconsidered. It's just gone up like this. And I think part of the problem is the federal bureaucracy. You can't just fire all these most of them, most of the drug war is marijuana, because it's the least important, but the most the most accessible to the law enforcement people. And it's the most common, heroin and cocaine and methamphetamine are small numbers by comparison to the millions of people who are using marijuana. So I think you just can't say, oh, well, we suddenly realize this is silly. This is a great mistake, this prohibition. This drug is not a toxic something. Terribly toxic drug, but it is very useful. In fact, I personally think I'm prepared to say it's a kind of blessing, which eventually we're going to recognize as a country.